Perhaps Israel is acting too fast. That's the case if you ask the head of the country's COVID-19 task force, Nachman Ash. Following the announcement of the airport opening next week, Ash calling it far from the ideal, saying it could set the country back. Chana Rifkin reports on the tricky balance between vaccines and coming out of lockdown.
Israel's coronavirus chief says he would not rule out another lockdown, especially as the country plans to reopen its airport, saying the decision could bring new COVID strains into the country. He said, "We have a few critical weeks ahead. We will have to see if there is an increase in morbidity. It's absolutely possible that we will see more seriously ill people. We may have to impose further restrictions, and we may even have to impose another lockdown." Meanwhile, on Wednesday, the health ministry recorded 4,143 new cases, with a positive infection rate of 5.2%. There are 699 patients in serious condition, with 224 on ventilators. 5,815 Israelis have died from the virus. As of Wednesday, nearly 5 million Israelis received the first dose of the vaccine, and approximately 3.5 million received both doses. Officials say the vast majority of COVID-19 deaths in February were recorded among people who haven't been vaccinated. Last month, 78% of the 935 coronavirus patients who died were not vaccinated at all or received just one vaccine dose. Today, Israel will begin its campaign to vaccinate some 120,000 Palestinians who are legally employed in Israel and West Bank settlements, using Moderna vaccination stock. Israel's military liaison to the Palestinians said it will roll out the immunization campaign at checkpoints and industrial zones across the West Bank. Also, cultural institutions are opening next week for holders of green passports, including theaters, restaurants and cafes, hotels, and more. There's even a series of stadium concerts planned for Tel Aviv, a first in more than a year. Chana Rifkin, ILTV.